I don't know what this video is about, but it's shown up on my For You page a bunch this morning. WoW's Hidden World RP. Okay? I don't know. I have no idea what the fuck this video is about, to be completely honest with you. But it's been suggested to me a couple times now. So I do want to check it out. Let's see what WoW's Hidden World of RP. Goldshire Glory all time. Yeah. Maybe it's all just about Moonguard's Goldshire. Let's see.
Today, we're going to talk about one of my favorite forms of RP, World RP. We're going to talk about exactly why and how it is making a resurgence in World of Warcraft.
Probably because of
also
classic
what we can hope it'll become for the rest of
hardcore, because hardcore is technically an RP.
Azeroth. You're probably sitting there wondering, Gavinrad, you're in an inn, there's not a bunch of people dancing around. Are you sure this is Moonguard? Is this even WoW RP? Well, it is Moonguard, and it is WoW RP, but it is not Goldshire. This is Darkshire, and it has become the most recent hub for World RP and its resurgence in Azeroth.
Oh no, so now all orgies are going to be located in Darkshire. What a time to be alive.
Those of you that watch my channel may know that when it comes to World RP, I've always been a massive fan. From covering events on different servers, to even advocating for Valdrakken, the newest major city, to be a World RP hub of its own. But a lot of what I show is carefully constructed events. Not always, but they're big events like Kashar, Tournament of Ages, and Dance of the Dead. They're all tailored by wonderful staff that work really hard to keep the RP world alive. But it's not the full picture of World RP, and there's so much more to dive into. So if you just can't give up any old day on the calendar to arrive to this massive event out in the world.
What the hell is this? Oh, this is a little fucking guy that you can summon. That's right. I thought this was a person. I was like, holy shit, how did they unlock fucking baby orcs on this server?
And you're also looking for RP in that open world. For a long time, that was really hard to find. I remember the days where it was more prevalent. It wasn't even that long ago on servers like Bloodcell Buccaneers.
Did sharding kind of ruin RP? I feel like sharding would have ruined... Sharding would have ruined RP. Yeah, it did. Sharding did, yeah. Yeah, I feel like, how do you have to like get in raids or something to RP now, because everyone's gonna shard to different like shards, essentially. Whereas before, you know, when it was just a single server, do RP servers still shard or no? Or are RP servers different right now? I don't know. Sharding ruins almost everything. That I agree with.
Classic WoW before, you know, Blizzard merged RP and PvP servers and kind of crashed the scene. World
okay, I should just let the video play.
WoW that I wish was more advertised.
Pepper Parish, thank you for the follow. Welcome to our Scourge.
But in the days of phasing and sharding, especially with a big promotional event we'll talk about, a lot of people started to cling towards cities for RP like Stormwind, Silvermoon, and Orgrimmar. But these days, it's mostly just Stormwind and Orgrimmar. And you might be wondering why. With cities like Suramar or...
Wow, damn. What the... Is that some kind of add-on he's using there where it's showing everybody? So do cities not shard then? Is that why they RP in cities mostly?
Dalaran, why aren't people going there? In my experience, there are people going there, but they don't
Suramar is
really
a
rival
badass city.
They don't really rival Orgrimmar in terms of sheer population. But as we've discussed with exploring other RP servers and communities, it's not always about sheer population, sheer numbers. Sometimes RP is about quality over quantity. Now, perfect RP for me, and everyone has their own taste, is both quantity and quality.
Well,
however, here in World RP, with this resurgence, you're seeing a match of both. Now, there's nothing inherently wrong with City RP, it's just a lot of it boils down to people standing still and waiting for you to walk up to them while you wait for them to walk up to you.
Scary as
shit. If you don't really have that initiative either in your character or yourself who's playing the character, it can be paralyzing and overwhelming. It could be something that overall dissuades you from RP, and a lot of comments have kind of told me that as well. I want to RP, but how do I start? I don't know how to initiate. With World RP, it creates a perfect backdrop for you to have a hook or something for you to do that will kind of bring you into the RP. And it also doesn't have as many people concentrated in a dense area like City RP does.
Yeah. What are you gonna... If there aren't a lot of people everywhere, what are you gonna do? RP with fucking NPCs? You need a population for RP to work at all.
So you heard me say controversy. Let's get into the controversy.
Man, that fucking slap animation that he keeps doing is loud as shit. Is it loud for you guys? It's like blasting my ears off.
You can't have World of Warcraft these days without controversy. And on this channel, I try to avoid the more popular controversies, not because I don't care, not because I don't have an opinion on that, but because I'm trying to add a voice to people in a positive way that Blizzard can receive and hear that would add classic style immersion back into the MMO sphere, as well as roleplay elements that can be added into the MMO for all players. In my opinion, I'm not really at the spot or place where I want to just, you know, harp on what everyone else is harping on.
I don't know. When I think of RP, I just think of a bunch of furries playing as Valpera and Worgen and Goldshire. And tell me I'm not wrong. I guarantee you that's what a lot of this is.
Except for this issue, and that's because of a new phasing that emerged from a promotional event for honestly a really fun game, Diablo 4. However, a lot of people in the RP community, myself included, were upset about the phasing, only for us to realize that this was a perfect place to elevate World RP. You see, it's hard to convince a bunch of people to do something unless there's a buy-in. And when you go to Stormwind and it looks like this, which it usually never does, especially when it used to look like this, there's a lot of buy-in. I'm probably a rare type of player.
So you gotta, as like part of RPing, one of the rules is you gotta walk everywhere. That if you run, you just look weird.
To play a lot of content, but these days I just really push for RP. When I log on to a city, which is the easiest place to kind of find RP, and there's no RP available, there's like one person over there in the corner, and then they go poof, bye. As you can see here, it really dissuades me. It's not a buy-in.
The vast majority isn't like that. The RP community makes a lot of stories together. Well, I will say, one of the cool things that the RP community does definitely is make stories and challenges and all kinds of stuff. I mean, really, hardcore WoW is an RP. I said that earlier. That's a birth from the RP groups, right? You play a hardcore WoW on an RP server because it is RP at the end of the day. There's rules behind it, and if you die, it's like you die in real life. That's part of the role-playing aspect of it. Forrest Gump RP, no walking? Yeah, I didn't know that.
Darkshire is popping off, and there's also other places like Lakeshire too.
Yeah, if you're playing as Forrest Gump, that's right. You just run.
Where I went, which was Darkshire. A lot of people, as you could tell, are moving to Darkshire to contribute to this RP atmosphere, and they're trying to go out in the world and build something that is really what World of Warcraft
some really nice
RP
is.
I'm
not gonna lie, some really nice fucking transmog on this RP server. This guy's got a nice set together here. And same with the main character here, who's wearing armor earlier.
Is really what World of Warcraft RP is all about. However, to say this new growth is all on phasing wouldn't be entirely accurate, and it would strip away a lot of credit to people who have made guilds.
Fashion is everything for that immersion. Yeah, see, that's what I would think. Like, even this armor set that he's wearing here, you can see like he's got some of the Castle Nathria armor going with that the BFA armor set. Yeah, some of this stuff looks really nice together. So I guess, yeah, I didn't think about it. In RP, your armor set really does matter.
There's one guild that's been pushing out parties, events, and huge numbers even before the phasing here in Darkshire, and it's been running its own establishment at the Scarlet Raven Tavern with barkeep, servers, and all sorts of hooks for people coming to this previously empty town for RP. Don't get me wrong, the phasing situation has definitely been a silver lining for World RP as a whole, but a lot of credit goes to these people who have been trying for years to make World RP happen. And that's really hard to do because a lot of people like
so
me,
he's talking to the
honest,
NPC
want to just stay in one spot where it's convenient. That doesn't mean you'll not occasionally go out and RP and find stuff out in the world. There's nothing wrong with that, but
September.
just, as humans, we all want to be comfortable in just one spot. It's not like we want to go out of our way to kind of explore the world, especially when, as we'll talk about later, there's not a lot of features that accommodate RP hubs or even RP in general when it comes to World of Warcraft. So what is the future of World RP going forward, and what about other MMOs? In other MMOs, World RP is similarly difficult to come by. In ESO, most of it is restricted on intense phasing because of the way the game is set up. And even with the introduction of player and guild housing, most people stick between networks of guilds and friends inside this phasing because there's just one giant mega server, which, by the way, is something I'll talk about in a different video.
I think the ultimate version of any MMO would be one massive server with no phasing. I think, I wish, I don't know if technology is probably not there yet or something, but I think the best version of any MMO would be one massive server with no phasing. I wish they could do that. That's totally the way things should go, or they should be trying to take things.
future. But looking into Ashes of Creation, MMO that I'm interested in because it has some classic elements.
Yeah, it's not there yet. Yeah, probably not.
RP world there because they do have RP mechanics. It is a little alarming and concerning for me that it doesn't have an RP server, but that's a different conversation for a different time. ESO, it's the same way, and I didn't like it, and I still don't like it, even though I still play ESO and I still RP there time to time. In Final Fantasy, most of the RP seems to be strongly centered
around cat girls. Let's be honest. Final Fantasy RP is one thing and one thing only. It's cat girl RP. There's nothing else. Okay, I've never played the game and I know this. And he's probably going to say the same.
In the city. Though admittedly, I've only RP'd once or twice in that MMO,
in the city,
not nearly enough to really get a sense of what's going on there. For WoW, in my opinion, it definitely has the most vibrant roleplay community, and it's been a sad fate to see that the more beautiful, updated assets like those in Stromgarde and Arathi Highlands, or even just the new expansions in general, are overlooked and underused by most of the RP population. Now, there are obviously factors involved as to why. Stromgarde, for example, is broken every other week or every 2 weeks, and that's frustrating for us RPers. We finally got buildings that are empty for RP, and we can't even use them all the time. That's frustrating. I'm not entirely sure what the solution would be to get people to move out there and into the open world. Phasing itself seems to be a strong push, but I don't know, ethically from like a game developing kind of perspective, I'm not really for that. I think that companies, really, especially Blizzard at this stage, have ignored role players in the design of the game itself. At least, maybe not in the beginning, but certainly now. And so, is that something we want to encourage? Hey, force us into doing something we don't want to do? Is it possible there are plenty of city RPers that just like to RP in the city and they find their fun in RPing in the city? Is it right for us to say, oh, you have to like World RP, we're going to take that away from you? I've known a few friends personally, and I know it's anecdotal, but they've unsubbed from this. And while Darkshire is popping, it's still not the size of Stormwind at its height. And I'm not entirely sure what the solution.
People unsubbing because the RP isn't good? I mean, I guess if that's what you're playing for, that makes sense. But I would say certainly none of these companies put RP. I thought RP servers for some reason don't shard. I thought Blizzard enacted that, but I guess I'm wrong. Because that sucks. Sharding would certainly ruin RP. That totally makes sense.
Is to something as nuanced and complex as this. Because again, not everybody wants to World RP.
Christ,
Some
that was
people
loud.
want to do City RP. It's just something to think about. But again, phasing seems to have worked. Because let's remember, WoW is unique as far as MMOs go, and really as far as the RP genre goes, for what it has to offer. It's like a full cylinder RP game as far as what the community has built at this point. Not a lot of MMOs and not a lot of games have thousands of people that are embedded in their characters, that act and play through their characters, and design entire communities and headcanon with each other as their characters. I'm not saying nobody has done that, but the consistency and volume in WoW, it sets the standard. So do we really want to risk that? I'm not sure. All of this is to say, there are some really amazing stories that come out of World RP that I just don't really have in the city. Take a look at this. Gavinrad was minding his own business in the inn when suddenly a strange worgen approached him. After meeting with his friend Magistus Nerithral, they were lured into a building nearby where they had to solve a mysterious puzzle that was like a warcraft quiz show. And if they failed, they'd be entirely consumed by this shadow monster thing, only for it all to be
That's so cool. Like a whole fucking quest line and everything from this shadowy worgen that just appeared after his furry orgy. That's really cool, actually. I like that stuff. That's cool content. I like how the community here just creates content.
Distraction as Gavinrad's gold went missing back at the inn. Gavinrad found the same worgen, but he had transformed into his human visage, and so for all the people around him knew, he was falsely accusing some poor innocent Gilnean. Now we know, because out of character we could see it's the same character, but the people in the world, they're going to be faithful to,
I think it's cool.
To that scenario, and Gavinrad was being the bad guy there. Gavinrad never found his gold, but I found a ton of fun in the natural hooks that were provided, and even traveling around a short part of the world, even if it's just around the corner to that house, was a lot of fun. And also I made new friends along the way. There was nothing but net positive from this World RP experience, and to me this is what RP is about. It's something that can happen in the city, but it's just not the same with the whole beautiful world as a backdrop to your
I mean, I agree. I mean, imagine Lord of the Rings just took place in the cities. Come on, that wouldn't be fun, right? Yeah, the open world is where the real RP should be happening. I do agree with this. And in Blizzard, it sucks that, the game's just not built for it.
adventure. Like I said earlier, I'm not sure if there's a solution or if this is just the nature of roleplay itself. Any action out in the world, does it have to be forced? Does it have to be brought up by guilds on the ground? Is this something where people have to say, hey, come on in, the water's fine, and then everybody else will join? Or does it take a YouTuber to kind of shout it out? What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments, and stay tuned for a future How to RP Warlock and How to RP High Elves here on the channel. I have not given up, and expect more frequent videos as we finally arrived in summer where I have a lot more time. Stay bookish, everyone.
Nice, nice. The hidden world of RP. Was not expecting that. And those quests are cool. I think it's cool that there's like community created quest lines and all kinds of shit with a story behind it.